Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm so glad you're joining me today for a wonderful and important conversation. I can't wait for you to meet Daisy Zeijlon. She is an up-and-coming culinary expert and a food and gender scholar. I can't wait for you to hear her story. But first of all, she is going to prepare a great recipe demo for you. So Daisy, welcome to Kitchen Chat.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here and to get back into the groove, firstly, of doing demos. I used to do them all the time, and it's been a little while, so I'm so excited.
Oh, well, what are you going to make for our foodie friends today?
So I am going to be making one of my sort of pandemic specialties, which I call fridge salad. It is a dish that I eat sort of almost every weekday now, and is sort of, it just is a quick weekday salad that you can make basically out of anything that you have in your pantry or your fridge. It's more about sort of like understanding and figuring out how to make a salad that actually is good and makes you feel happy as opposed to kind of sad.
Well, wonderful. Are there a lot of ingredients or what all is involved?
You know, there are a few ingredients, but it really depends on what you have around. It's more sort of about texture and layering flavors, depending on what you like. So what I have today is truly what I just found in my fridge. I didn't go shopping for any ingredients, just to prove that, you know, it can be done at home. So it starts with a lettuce and a few additional sort of vegetable and fruit like bits and bobs I found in my fridge, and then some sort of like nuts, bready things, and just a very straightforward vinaigrette. So all things that I think many of us have lying around.
Great. I can't wait to see your technique. And you have a culinary background as well.
Yeah, I have been working now in food for a long time. My first, kitchen job was when I was 19. I worked at Haleo, at a location just outside DC as a line cook. So I have that little bit of professional experience. And then also all through college, I taught cooking classes, I organized dining events, and I worked in test kitchens and things like that during the summer. So I did sort of cut my teeth and learn how to cook. I mean, my first endeavor was when I was 15 and I went to culinary camp, which I was weirdly embarrassed about at the time. But now I think it's so cool. Who wouldn't want to go to cooking camp all summer? But yeah, and then after getting sort of some experience in the kitchen, I moved out of it. And after college, I moved to New York, where I have been doing more sort of project management, communications, and marketing, but still always for restaurant groups and food businesses.
Oh, wonderful. And I can't wait for our upcoming chat about what you're doing with gender equity in the food industry. But first, introduce us to your recipe and let's cook.
Absolutely. So I am going to start with the dressing. So today I am going to do a honey mustard balsamic vinaigrette. So I always build my dressings in a jar, a jam jar, or whatever you have lying around. And I do sort of more of a ratio as opposed to a strict recipe. So the ratio of vinegar or acid to oil, a good benchmark is 1 to 3. So 1 part vinegar or lemon juice and 3 parts oil. So, and because I have a jar, I can sort of eyeball it. So I'll start with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette, balsamic vinegar, just because that's what I was in the mood for today. So I'll add a little bit of that. And then I'll do, maybe half a teaspoon of mustard. I won't use all of this dressing on my salad today because I'm making it just for me, but dressings keep in the fridge. You can always make some on Sunday or Monday and it'll last throughout the week. So I'm going to add a dollop of mustard right into the jar. And then a little bit of honey. This is a small tip, but if I'm using honey, I always dip it into the mustard first, because then the honey is less likely to stick. It sticks to the mustard instead.
Great tip.
Yeah, it's always so annoying to like be waiting for honey to drip off a spoon. So we've got that. And then I'm gonna grab my olive oil, which is a super fun olive oil a friend gave me in a bag, which I love. But so I can see here that I have, maybe 1/3 of an inch of balsamic and my other ingredients in here. So I'm gonna eyeball that 3-to-1 ratio that I mentioned. So I've got like maybe it's hard for you all to see, but I've got sort of 3-to-1 ratio of oil to vinegar, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of a tiny bit of pepper, however much you want. And then also I have kind of a fancy salt because I am who I am. People gift me things like salts and fancy oils and things like that. So I have a little bit of smoked sea salt by Malden, which is fun for things like this. It's a great finishing salt. And then super easy, I'm just going to shake it up to emulsify it and bring it together. And then we've got a little creamy vinaigrette. So I'm going to set that aside for now and then just quickly build our salad, which is just really about plopping things into a bowl essentially. So this is my salad spinner. I have some just green leaf lettuce. You can use romaine, you can use iceberg, you can use arugula. I tend to like crunchier salads just because I find it more satiating, but you can absolutely go for whatever you like. So I have just, this was like 1/3 or 1/2 of a head of lettuce. I'm just gonna dump that into my mixing bowl. And then what I found in my fridge was a little baby endive, like a few inches of cucumber, and an apple. So I was like, great, we can go for it. That's what I'll do today. So I'll just do a little bit of chopping. The endive, I already peeled off kind of those like bruised outer leaves and rinsed it. And then I'm just gonna give it a very quick chop. And again, what you put in here, it's really, for me, about textural variety. I think that's what makes a salad interesting, particularly now, in colder weather. All the things that I really want are creamy and cheesy, but can't do that for 6 months out of the year. So I love throwing in to make a salad more hearty is important to me. So then I have my cucumber. I'm just chopping that into sort of half moons, super quick. Then I've got my apple. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to cut, I'm going to use one of the lobes. The like sides of the apples are called the lobes, and I'll eat the rest of that for like a snack later. And just slice this up too. And put that in, and then just for a little fun, I'm going to add a little bit of ricotta salata. So it's a firm sheep's milk cheese, and I think of it sort of as like a gentler feta. It has a lot less bite than feta, but some of the same sort of like crumbly, like firm texture that makes it really good for a salad. So I'm just going to crumble a little bit of that in there. And then our last little like crunchy bits. So I have in here just I have like a tablespoon of cranberries and a tablespoon of chopped up roasted salted almonds. These are bags that we have had in this cupboard for a very long time, and I've been trying to use them up. So that's what this is about. But they also add, a nice little sweetness and a little bit of crunch. So those go right in the bowl. And then sort of like an unconventional tip, I guess, if I have crackers or pita chips or something kind of crunchy like that, I crumble that up and put that in the salad also. So here I have just some very like plain butter crackers, I think. that I must have used it for a cheese board at some point. So I am just going to crunch these up with my hands and put them into the salad. It's sort of like a very easy crouton. You know, if I'm making lunch at home on a weekday, I don't really have the energy to be turning on the oven and making a crouton. And, you know, I love them, but that's more of like a dinner salad kind of vibe. But this is a great way to add something crunchy. And then my last two like toppers, here I have toasted sesame seeds. And then I also have this huge container of fried garlic. So it's chopped up fried garlic. This is a Thai product. I got it just at a local Asian grocery store here in Brooklyn where I live, but it is so good as a topping for essentially anything. So I'm just gonna take, you know, a teaspoon or so and put that into the salad. And also a little sprinkling of these toasted sesame seeds. And that's everything that's going into the salad. And then give our dressing another little shake and pour that in. I always, you know, it's one of those sort of age-old sayings in cooking is like you can always add, but you can't take away. So I start with less dressing than I think I need. And then I can always add more as I go on. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a top. Truth be told, if I'm not on camera, I do this with my hands. But, you know, we'll make things professional today and use the tongs. You want to make sure to get all the stuff that's on the bottom onto the top. That's also a trick, I guess, for eating salad is to make sure you get things that are on the bottom. That's where all the good stuff tends to land. And then another thing I would be doing if I were just alone is eating it straight out of this bowl. But today, a special occasion, I'll put it in a bowl. It's kind of nice, you know, when you're eating by yourself and it's a weekday, I think it's important to take a break and take a couple of minutes to sit and eat and connect with your food and with yourself. Let me see if I can get all of this. On here, and then just for a little extra finishing touch, a tiny bit more of the cheese, and then just a little like toasted sesame on top, just because it's pretty. Let me put these guys back in. And that's it. That's like my special fridge salad, which is really a quick, healthful, but really satisfying lunch that you don't have to go to the store for.
Oh, that looks wonderful. And foodie friends, we will have this video and suggested recipe on the website as well. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.